Yes, Glenn Logan gone, Neil Farrell gone up front. People expect that watch college football for LSU to have one of the better defensive fronts in the country. What's it going to look like?
Yeah, so let's start with their two best defensive tackles, Maason Smith, five-star Rivals, #1 player in the country coming out in 2020, and he played like it, right? His first couple of games. Then he gets hurt, right? And he didn't really play really at all towards the end of the season. Jaquelin Roy is one of the best pass rushing defensive tackles you'll ever see, right? If you're a diehard SEC football fan, a really good comp to him would be Chris Jones, a great defensive tackle at Mississippi State, who ironically played for the Chiefs. So that's where the defense is going to be built up front with those two guys. They're two playmaking defensive tackles. Now, as far as what happens behind them, the name to keep an eye out for is not only Jaquelin Roy, but someone else who was in that same class, B.J. Ojulari, right? Plays that edge defensive end role. I think a lot of people view him more of a Will Anderson, Kayvon Chason, Josh Allen type of end where you stand up in a 2-point stance. But these last couple of years, BJ has played the traditional hand in the dirt every snap, get upfield as fast as you can, traditional DN in the mold of like a Dwight Freeney, right? So once again, that's going to be, to me, the key position, right? That defensive end role, because that tells you what kind of defense you're going to run based on if it's a 3-man front or a 4-man front, how multiple you're going to be with that in between. If BJ Ojulari takes the step that they are hoping that he takes, that's where this defense is going to get really fascinating. Now, it's where it gets interesting, right? They do bring in Harold Perkins, who played that Ojulari role a lot in high school. But in general, Perkins was more of a running back when he was in high school than he was an outside linebacker. So I think that's going to be the juiciest story. All right. If you want the juiciest story about this entire defense, it's going to be how do they view Harold Perkins moving forward? Where do they want to play him? How do they want to use him? How does Harold himself want to be used within the defense? Because he could have chose to go anywhere. He was the most sought after defensive recruit in the late period. So, we'll see what happens with him in particular in year one.